6 o'clock, 6 p.m. I'd like to open up the meeting. And I have a couple adjustments to the agenda. First of all, I would like to mention that Paul Cerruti, one of our select board members, is not able to be here tonight. He's at some kind of training program for his role in the fire department. We have Kurt and Laura Behrens from the Nichols Pond Association here to talk about a gravel request for the Nichols Pond, Nichols Dam Road. And then Carly Brown is here to talk about a neighbor issue. Is there any public comment at all before we move on to? We're good? Okay. So I would like to make a motion that we approve the bills to the town.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And then I would like to make a motion that we approve the minutes for the August 26, 2019 select board meeting.
Second.
Okay. Do you have, you were looking at that, do you have that with you? There it is, right there. So we'll sign that and then move on here. Let's see. Yes. Good. Okay. So I changed the order of the town highway report a little bit so that we can hear from some folks, so we don't have to sit through the rest of it. So the first thing on the town highway report is the Nichols Pond Association. So the floor is yours.
I'm Kurt Behrens, and I'm speaking on behalf of the association. First, I wanted to thank the town and the roads crew for the gravel that they brought in a couple of weeks ago. We had quite a washout on the road leading down to some of the camps, and we've already put that to very good use, spreading that out and filling the holes. So that's very good. That's very good. What I'm here for tonight is what we couldn't really attack with that is the more public area of the road that leads to the dam itself. After the big storms, it washes pretty badly, especially on that final turn that went down to the parking area by the dam. People who use the dam for access to the lake have been picking up stones from the lake and throwing them in the crevices of the road in order to try to make their way down. So a lot of that corner has washed away over the years, and it really needs a lot of help, and I'm afraid that it needs more help than a load of gravel. And what I was hoping for was maybe a little larger aggregate. The road that goes up to the Nichols Ledge, I don't even know the name of that road, but it goes from the dam road up that hill. And there was a lot of work done on that road recently for runoff and such.
It was last year. Yeah.
And that used a larger aggregate. I don't know if that was 3-inch or what kind of stone, but I think that type of a fill would probably hold up better to future runoff from the storms. I was hoping to get a load of that size aggregate dumped at that corner down near the parking area. And in order to get to that one, there's also a large boulder near the last camps on that road that people can no longer drive over the top of it, so they're driving all the way around it. And there's kind of a big ravine that's grown around that boulder.
So the boulder's right in the middle of the road? Or
it's right in the middle of the road, and thankfully there's actually a parking space from one of the camps that's just off to the side, so people have been going off the side through that parking space and then back on the road get around the boulder.
Yeah.
And I think if we got some of that heavy aggregate dumped there too, we can spread it around the boulder and fill that crevice so that hopefully traffic can go right over the top of the boulder without having to go into the neighbor's parking.
Yeah. Have you been down in there, seen any of that? No.
I know what it is.
Know what it is,
I
yeah.
haven't been there. It's always been that way.
I should recuse myself from any, being part of the discussion and decision, because I'm also part of the Nichols Pond Association. So I'll let you, Greg.
Okay.
But those are the only two areas that I feel we could really use some help with. We do have the ability to spread it around. We're lucky enough to have access to an excavator, which helped us spread that first load of gravel up on the hill. And we'll have it on site only for a short period of time. Then they have to move it. So
Something soon would be better than,
sooner would be
No.
better than later, because if the excavator leaves, then we're gonna have a lot harder time spreading that out, especially if it's like that 3-inch rock, you know, then
Yeah.
it would be very difficult to do with hand shovels and such. But we do have an excavator available to us,
yeah.
at least for the next year, we hope.
That's something that you guys think you could get a load of something up to them on?
Close.
Close,
We
yeah.
couldn't get it way down there, no way.
Oh, couldn't get all the way down with it, yeah. How far down can you get?
We can get close.
Close
Get
enough.
to the corner probably.
Yeah.
The corner is really where the problem is.
We can't go around it.
You can't go around the corner, no, down to the dam.
We've had a tractor down there with a rake and ran over it about 12 times with a rake, and it loosened everything up. And that crevice on the corner where people have been throwing the stones into kind of got filled in a little bit. So people are able to drive around that crevice to get to the parking area now, but it still needs to be filled in with something a little bit more solid.
Yeah.
But I think if you could get the stone to the corner, we can get it into where it needs to go from there.
Yeah, I got no problem doing that if you guys
It's
can
up
get
to
down
you
there.
guys. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a budget thing. I mean, we've already blown on that,
Budget's gone.
but as long as you guys say yeah.
Okay,
Or
well, we'll
you
talk
and-
about it a
you
little
and
bit
Paul
more,
or
but yeah,
whatever.
yeah. Yeah, if we're looking at just a load,
I mean-
probably, yeah.
Yeah, if you could split it between that area where the boulder is and then down by the corner for the rest of it, that would be very helpful.
Okay,
Where the boulder is on the uphill side, there's a camp driveway. That would be fine to put it. That would be Norm and Ginger Atkins' driveway.
oh, yeah,
Yeah.
So if you
There's
didn't want
uphill
to
on
put it
that.
in the middle of the road, you could put it temporarily in that driveway on the right.
then you guys could move it from there down to where you
Yeah,
have
it's only about probably 10 feet away.
To the first boulder.
Do you think one load of gravel is,
Well, if it could be the larger aggregate would be great.
do
And
you have access to the bigger stuff?
Oh,
Yeah, they have
yeah.
both
It's
things there.
3-inch thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
assuming that it would be roughly the same amount that we got for the standard gravel,
It
that
would
would
be the same
probably
amount.
be enough if we split it between these two spots. I suspect that it might actually take more around the boulder than down by the corner.
I mean, it's something we could do one this year and one next year, something like that too.
yeah. This year's budget
This
one,
year's
next year's
pretty
budget
fun.
one.
A fun year, huh?
Yeah,
Having a fun year.
Well, we've done a lot of Plattsburgh stuff
Yeah.
already.
yeah, yeah.
You guys have got, what, 2 loads down there this year?
One.
Just one?
Up top somewheres or,
East Long has got 5, I think.
We had them put a one truckload for a regular gravel, just outside the gate.
Yeah.
The bottom of that first hill. And we pretty much used that right in that area and up the hill where it had washed.
yeah.
But that's looking much better.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll talk about it a little bit more. Paul will be back sooner or later. If Mike's gonna, recuse himself, so, yeah. Be better that way, but yeah, I don't see any problem, the load.
Is there anything you need from us? Anything else from us?
No, you need a phone or anything, phone number? No, you just get down there and drop
Unless you
it.
wanted a certain time or something, or
No,
you must have the garage's number probably.
well, the only thing I'd like to do is give the guy who's got the excavator a heads up so that he can go
I
down
mean,
there.
it's not a time problem with me, I mean,
Could do it anytime.
as soon as you guys say, yeah, we'll get it.
Okay, so, yeah,
So it'll either probably Fridays, I guess it'd be closer.
yeah. So you might do it tomorrow even, or no?
Yeah.
Good, would that work?
That would be perfect, yeah.
Yeah. Yep, good with a load of, and you want, what, 3-inch stuff you said? Does he have
Actually,
bigger
it would
stuff?
be better if it was Wednesday,
Wednesday?
because I'll have both of my part-timers
Okay.
Wednesdays.
Yeah, so plan on it for Wednesday then.
Okay.
Tomorrow I've only got one.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And any preference time-wise?
No, I'll tell Nick that sometime Wednesday you can expect.
If you get a chance, as long as they approve it, just stick up a couple stakes or something.
Where you want it?
Where it should go. Okay.
Or tie them to a tree or anything, just ribbon or whatever.
Okay. We can do that.
I mean, I know where it goes, but these guys won't.
Right, the part-timers might not be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Timmy dropped the last one, so he knows where that was.
So same place as one of them spots is the same place he dropped some before?
No,
That's different.
it's much
Both different.
It's closer to the dam. The last one was done way up by the gate, and this one is down much closer to the dam.
Basically gonna back as far as you can,
Back all the way down.
safely, and
Yeah.
dump half of it and then come up to the little.
Yeah.
You can't turn around in the space by the dam.
I don't.
Don't want to get down that far.
Yeah, not with the truck, no, I don't think we can make that corner.
Okay.
I don't think the truck will go around that
Haven't been down
corner.
in there for years, but
We don't want it.
It's too tight,
too tight
you
to
know,
get in there.
sharp.
And there's some exposed bedrock or something on that corner too that you'd have
That
to drive
doesn't-
over.
Doesn't really matter, but.
Yeah.
There's a
It's
pond
just
on
too
the other
tight.
side.
You can drive down in a ways, then turn around. Is there a place
You
they
can
can
turn around
back?
at the gate,
Just turn around at the gate,
back
back
down.
from there.
It'll be as far as you can
There's a
back.
fairly wide driveway beyond the gate. It kind of curls around to the right a little bit.
Right.
And then there's
Is
a
that
drive.
Buchers?
Well, I might be able to show
Well,
you.
actually, Kurt and Laura live in Ted Beaker's place.
Oh,
If you see this, make it point like this. Yeah, right here. It comes down here, but we're talking about down here where
Right.
we not do load, but right about here, there, that's actually pictured. You see that little kind of a drive going off to the left? That's fairly wide and flat. You could probably turn around there and then back the rest of the way from that spot.
well, you can, the gravel's all gone, he dumped,
Yeah.
cause he can turn around there too. But this corner down here is just way too tight. You hardly get around there with a grader, you're not gonna put one of the trucks through there.
Okay.
That's the last corner before the dam?
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's
Pretty much.
right
at the
in the
dam.
lake. I don't think we want
We don't
I don't
that.
want to be there, huh?
10-wheeler sideways in the lake.
That might be a little hard to explain. Come and pick me up, I need a
But
ride
he can
back.
back to there. I mean, I may take it myself, maybe the best way anyway.
Don't send any rookies out.
I think you'll find that there's more of the load would be needed up by the boulder than down by that corner anyway. I don't know if that matters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Let me,
Phone
do you
number?
have a
Do you
phone
wanna write
number?
this down?
Sure. 802-258-0249.
And your name again, Liz?
Kurt Behrens.
Griffin,
And you're there most of the
the
time?
best way, Griffin, is to pull it,
No,
the string, and
I live
then
in
pull down on the
Brattleboro.
bottom.
Okay.
And we're on our way out. We stayed around for the meeting here tonight, but we're on our way south now.
Is there somebody up there that,
Yeah, I'll probably maybe call Norman or somebody local who knows where it's gotta go, and he can put a mark on
Norman
it
Atkin
for us.
would be one, somebody would know. And
you know, is
And
he
Nick
still
Mark?
working?
he isn't, no, he's retired, so he
Or
should,
if he'd go with me?
he might, yeah. I could find out, I could ask him if he would want to do that.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay, yeah, I'll check in
or
with Norman.
sometime Wednesday.
Yep, okay, okay,
Give him a good ride up through there.
All the time,
yeah. Yep, yeah, so I'll get a hold of Norman. See
because
if
I
we can
could
do
pick up the 3-inch from Bickford or as that goes and pick up
Actually-
Norman and go.
Wednesday, I could ride with you, I have that day open.
Okay. I'll just pick you up on the way back from
Okay,
Bickford.
okay.
So no marking would be needed then?
Right.
I think I know where it is, yeah, so probably wouldn't need to mark it, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Thanks.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
See you later.
Have a good night.
So we're gonna jump out of the town highway report and hear from Carly. So,
So I'm Carly Brown. I live on Dog Pond Road. We have a neighbor on Lilyville that's been a problem for quite a while. I have called the state police multiple times. They've only responded once, and that's when I told them that it was probably in their best interest to come out because my husband and another neighbor took off up there. He's letting off tannerite at all hours of the night, and the night the state police had come out to the house, I found out that it's actually illegal to let off tannerite. They did not go up and speak with him or anything.
can you, I don't know what tannerite is.
Tannerite is like an explosive.
Okay, okay, I've been
Is
hearing
it
that.
fireworks or
You
just?
shoot
No,
it.
no, you just
Target.
shoot it.
Oh,
Okay.
And then every single night, all hours of the night, he's on his property emptying clips, multiple clips. You know,
Right.
we're talking 11:30, 12 o'clock at night.
I hear them also. I live at the top of the hill.
That's what I thought.
I
And
haven't noticed those shots going off up there.
You haven't?
I'm
Oh,
surprised
a lot.
it shakes my house.
Really?
Things
Yeah.
fall off my wall.
So you're on the right.
I'm on the right. We're in
Yeah.
the A-frame.
Yeah.
And he's constantly flying down the road, tearing up the road. And I really had enough of it.
Me too.
Thursday,
I hear that
when they
also.
had been out there all day Wednesday, especially considering we just got our tax bill and it went up 20%. This one is ripping up the road. I have it all on video. I was so tired of it.
I haven't seen him the last few days, but he
He broke his tailbone, so
Oh,
he
good.
has not left
He
the
slowed
house. It's
down.
actually been fairly quiet the last
yeah, because he
3
shoots right
days.
through the intersection down by your house and never
Yeah.
stops.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that he holds it to the floor. He comes off
All
of
the way down,
Lilyville,
yep.
fishtailing, and holds it all the way down, all
Yeah.
hours of the day, all hours of the
Yeah.
night. I'm done with it. I've called the state police. All I hear is call, 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 call. Every time I call, we're not sending anybody out there for it.
Right.
So I don't know what can be done. I do know other neighbors have complained. Other people have called the town clerk's office. I don't know. The landlord's worthless.
Right.
We've said something.
To be perfectly honest with you, there really isn't much that the town can do. We could request that the Washington County Sheriff sit on the road.
We might be able to get them to do that. I was thinking the same thing, if they sat up.
He
The hill
leaves
a little
the house
bit, watched
between
him.
6:45 and 6:50 every
Okay,
single
that's good to
morning.
know.
I have 17
Yeah.
cameras around my house.
Because it was like 10 after 7 that I was,
Yep, that was a while ago. He
Yeah.
had switched jobs, so now he leaves I'm like clockwork, and then he
Yeah.
comes home between 5:15 and 5:27.
Well, the Washington County Sheriff's Department likes to know times so that they could be there.
I have them all.
Okay.
So every day, well, not right now anyway.
Not
so-
right now. He broke his tailbone. I think it was like Thursday, Friday, something like that. And that we heard through the grapevine on that one, which made sense because it had been quiet. The truck hasn't left or anything like that.
Yeah, so we'll have to wait till we see him flying through again to
Right.
call Washington County, because maybe we can get those guys at a certain
Yeah,
time.
we can request, the Washington County really doesn't spend much time here.
No,
either.
they don't,
That's-
and a lot of times they sleep
They
by
just-
the flashy speed limit sign.
Right.
I'm like asleep.
Yeah,
It's a good place for a nap, is any?
Actually, it's on the other end of the lake. They usually sit down there when you come into town.
any kind of enforcement that requires police is really, Woodbury is just kind of,
And I
pretty
have
much
talked to the
neglected.
sheriff department. They actually gave me a card.
Okay.
So I have them, but like usually when I'm trying to call, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, 11:30 at night, and it's just it has now, because he knows that I've called the cops on him. Now it's turned into school. Like now he calls the school. This one apparently threatens the kids. And you know, that's not here. We're dealing with that there. You know, I don't know. I didn't know what else to do, so I figured I got a clear view of him coming out Thursday afternoon fishtailing, and I mean the dirt you can see flying in the truck going like that.
yeah, I mean, living at the top of the hill, you know, I'm very much aware of, it seems that there's a lot of that this summer. A lot of people just kind of, does he have the motorcycle too?
He has the motorcycles,
Okay,
the
same
dirt
guy.
bikes.
Same guy.
Yeah, it's the same one. He's
Okay.
and a lot of times you see him with no helmet on. You know, this one here had been on his four-wheeler one day and was trying to fix something, so he had come out our driveway, turned around right at the town garage. The back tires weren't turning, so they left marks. The sheriff was actually out here and followed the tracks to the house. And you know, and had to talk with him. But yeah, no, the taxes came in and it was a little aggravating, and then sitting on the porch watching that one fishtail
Yeah.
down the road with no concern at all.
Yeah, destroying the roads, yeah.
Well, we could try to do something about it, but again, you know, it's
Should I
trying
keep
to
calling the state police?
keep
Just
calling the
keep
state
calling them?
police, yep, and,
What about the sheriff's department? Should you call those guys too?
yeah. you-
Wouldn't do any
yeah.
harm.
And we will call the sheriff's department, you know, with the times that you've given us, and ask them to be sitting, obviously he would have to be going above the speed limit, and I'm not sure where the 20, is he coming down the road 25 miles per hour, where does that start? Right at,
Ideally,
Right, the
it would be
intersection?
the bottom
Yeah.
of Mike's driveway by the garage, where like he can't even see him, because either whatever direction he comes by then, he's got to be doing.
right,
Because he doesn't look when he comes out of the driveway. Like he
just
comes
looks
right
right
up
up.
to the top and he comes out.
Yeah.
yeah. And you said you've called the landlord?
We've called the landlord.
Okay, so-
As far as I know, other people have called the landlord.
Okay, well, if you could provide me with the landlord's name and number, a member of the select board will call the landlord also.
Willie Sayers. And
Oh, okay.
do you still need a number?
I do need the number, but.
Okay, let me find out.
That may not be very helpful either.
I was thinking he owned all three of those places up there.
Yeah, 4.
4.
There's actually 4, yeah. We lived in the front one and then the house went up for sale and we bought that.
Yeah.
I have a very old number for Willie Sayers, but,
I have 456
okay,
1028.
okay. So technically, as a neighbor and a select board member, I'll call also.
I know you guys have got here. You both live right there
Right.
at the end of it.
Yeah, the bedroom window is right there and it's
Right, yeah.
open and you hear them.
Yeah.
You can hear him
You
coming.
can hear them coming around the lake
You can
a
hear
lot
him
of
coming up
times.
Route 14.
Yeah, I'll be sitting on the porch and I'm like, oh, he's home, and then here he comes.
And it's so consistent what he does, you know just by the sound of it that who it is coming.
And he's one of them too that's with the whole crowd with our lovely burn marks all the way down 14
yeah, well.
in front of the trailer park. Or
Trailer park, all right.
So what were the times, that
in the
6:45?
morning, he leaves between 6:45 and 6:50 every morning.
Okay,
And then in the afternoon, it's typically, unless he gets out early, usually it's between 5:12 and 5:27.
Wow, you got it down.
Yeah,
I get bored at night and watch the cameras.
that's right, you guys got good.
We
set of
had
cameras,
everywhere. Well, when the Ferdettes were robbing everybody,
Yeah.
I had just had brand new tires, snow tires ordered. They sat on the porch. I left for 20 minutes and they were
Really?
gone. And we have Kyle Abbott and Jesse Fitzgerald, which I think he has since been gone. We had them on camera, and the state police wouldn't do anything about it then either.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they've actually been quite worthless lately.
Policing for Woodbury is really it's a sore spot. So we'll do what we can. There are no guarantees. But continuing to call both the state police and the county sheriff.
Yeah, we might have the better luck with the sheriff just because they
They do have a contract with the town.
Yeah.
they listen to us a little bit more about when and
Right.
where, I think.
Yeah,
Who was it that we talked? Wells.
Okay.
He was very very nice actually. Like we ended up having a 45-minute conversation.
State police
Sheriff's
Sheriff's
Department.
Department,
Yeah.
yeah.
The one that constantly when I call, it's Matthew Chan.
Mhm.
I think.
Well, we'll call the sheriff's department also. I mean, we do have a contract with them for policing in the town.
He
Yeah.
works in Marshfield, so he comes up and over the mountain 90% of the time. I don't know if it's East Hill or down in Calais.
Yeah, could be either way, yeah.
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 And I'll call the landlord also and just for what it's worth.
Yeah, I tell you, there's nothing he can do about it, not in
Right.
his rental contract, but
Right.
at least
Mhm.
it's a voice, maybe he'll say something to him.
Yeah.
Who maintains that road?
Nobody. When we lived there, we were the
Private road,
ones
yeah.
that plowed it and graded it.
That's really damaged our road and stuff.
Yeah,
Oh, that road's horrible.
As soon as we grade it, we'll
Yeah, they were out, it was pouring on Wednesday, and they were out there all day Wednesday grading it. And then all of a sudden he comes out, and then Friday morning they're coming down the road in the grader, and I'm standing in the window, and whoever was driving the grader is looking, and they're going like this.
throwing up
terrible.
already, yeah.
Yeah, I don't even, it wasn't even that long. It doesn't matter. He'll go to his mailbox, and then he like floors it and flies around the corner, and then up and down. Like, it's aggravating. Most of us live out here because it's nice and quiet.
Quiet.
You know, like, don't piss off your neighbors.
But you're right.
I've learned that.
It hasn't been that quiet this summer.
No, it hasn't been. It's been obnoxious. You know, like I understand, we all hunt and everything, so, but when it's 10, 11 o'clock at night and he's emptying clip after clip, and those houses are really close. Like,
Yeah.
I even called Fish and Game to find out exactly what the laws were on safety zones. I was gonna line my property just because then he would have gotten in trouble for shooting, and I don't even know why they didn't go talk to him when he was shooting at night and letting off tannerite, and it was illegal. Like,
Yeah.
they didn't
There's
even go
something
up
after
there.
10 o'clock at night or something for shooting, or is there any
I don't
shooting?
know.
Nothing for shooting?
I
I
don't think so.
personally, ethically, I wouldn't shoot past dark.
Yeah.
Like,
But
you
they
don't
can-
know what you're shooting
You know,
at.
people can hunt coyotes and stuff like that
Yeah,
after
true.
dark.
Yeah.
Well, we'll keep you posted on if we hear anything.
Okay.
Actually,
Are we a village up there? Is there a village?
no, we don't really have a village designation, no.
Okay,
No, and there are no,
Doesn't go quite that far.
it
right.
doesn't go quite
It
that far.
stops up at the corner.
I think we do have that in Woodbury Village, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No shooting in something down there.
I don't know if we do or not, to be honest with you, but. Well, we'll just do what we can. So,
I'll keep saving videos.
all right. Yeah,
Yeah, I would say
I
call
would
the
think-
sheriff's department when you start calling
Okay.
more, because I think that they would be more susceptible to coming out here.
Yeah.
What
Especially
did the
if we
fishing
butt
game
into it.
department tell you?
They said it was like 500 feet, but they don't, if he's not doing anything hitting the houses and where he's shooting at, there's nothing they can do about it. So then I don't want to mark my property. I don't know. Personally, I think the houses are on top of each other up there, especially going halfway up where he is, and then the other house, you know, like I can stand in his front door and spit on the other house.
Yeah.
I don't,
So he's in the middle.
he's in the middle, he's halfway up, it's 121 Lilyville.
Yeah. Yeah. No, we'll make some calls ourselves and
Right.
17, keep calling. And,
Okay.
I might try to talk to some of the other folks that live up there too, just to see how they're feeling about all
Well, and
this.
that's, my neighbor across the street with the fence there, I call him, I don't even know what his name is, I call him Mr. Wilson, cause I never see him.
I've never seen him.
I heard
20 years
him
I've lived here.
complaining the other day. He was out there, and you can hear him complaining. So
Okay, all right.
I haven't talked to him. The state police wanted me to go around and talk to all the neighbors, but I didn't have time to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to be that annoying neighbor.
Is there any kind of record or anything where he doesn't have a right to have a gun?
Be a good
I
question,
googled
guess.
him, and he has a few domestics on him and landlord issues in Marshfield. I don't know what the criminal record is.
Mhm.
That'd be one thing is we could ask the state police to look it up.
Right.
Mhm.
Or fishing
And see,
game?
or fishing game.
His name is Trevor Alden.
Yeah.
Alden.
Okay.
That must be public knowledge, isn't it?
I don't know. Like I tried Google and everything. I'm sure there's probably some website you can go to. And
There's websites that.
is there?
You sometimes have to pay a little bit, but you can get somebody's police record or anytime they've shown up in a court.
Oh boy, you just told me.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
We-
Yeah,
we
we should
as-
be able to,
That would be
one thing.
one area to go and look.
Do you think that the sheriffs or the state police would have looked him up and,
That's your job.
yeah, said, huh, he shouldn't have one?
And by the sounds of it, there's multiple of them.
Yeah.
But
Okay,
Okay.
well,
All right.
sorry.
no, it's okay. Thank you very much.
That kind
Yeah.
of helps me explain my own grumblings that I'm not alone.
Yeah, it's not us, I swear.
I'm pretty-
Thank you.
Yeah, good night.
Good night.
So, back to the town highway report. Let's get on to, kind of move the agenda so that Rick and Sarah aren't here all night either. So, what I'd like us to do next is to look at the bids, for the Buck Lake Brook, Cabot Road repair. And then we'll move into the Old Quarry Road repair, from there, which is why Rick and Sarah, I'm sure, are here. So, so we had a mandatory site visit for the bank washout on August 28th, and then bids. There were 4 contractors that were invited to come, and all 4 showed up. They were able to ask questions of the people from V-Trans that were there, and then were given last Friday at 5 p.m. as a deadline to submit their bids. One contractor declined after the site visit, decided that he wouldn't be able to be competitive in his bidding, so he did not bid. But we did get bids from Gravel Construction, from Kirk Fenoff and Son Excavating, and from Daryl Matthews Excavating. And we're required by V-Trans to take the lowest bid. So I'm going to read off the bid amounts, and we'll just go from there. Daryl Matthews had the lowest bid at $20,700 for the work. He has an estimated start date of October 14th, and the duration of the project would be 1 week. So he's anticipating being done on October 23rd. Gravel Construction had the next lowest bid at $35,350. They just gave us an anticipated start date of somewhere between October 15th and November 1st. And then Kirk Fenoff and Son had the highest bid of $55,000 with no, they didn't really give us a time frame of when they would be able to start or how long it would take. So because this is a V-Trans Town Highway Emergency Grant, we pretty much have to select the lowest bidder. That's what required from V-Trans. So Darrell Matthews Excavating is the lowest bid at $20,700. So I will be notifying all of the contractors and I guess even though we know what it is, we should probably make this official by my making a motion that we award the contract for the V-Trans Town Highway Emergency Grant to repair the bank washout along Buck Lake Road as Cabot Road comes down into the village to Darrell Matthews Excavating for the total bid amount of $20,700.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. So that's done. I'll also notify V-Trans. The other contractor was Paul Lamberti, and there was discussion of using blocks from the quarry, and the one stipulation from the quarry was they were willing to donate the material free to the town. But in order for someone to go there to get the blocks, they needed a mining safety certificate, which Paul didn't have. So, and ironically, he said he probably couldn't. But under Darrell Matthews is choosing to use concrete blocks instead of the granite, and he's the lowest bid. So,
Wow.
don't know how.
Yeah.
So, okay, so that's that. Yeah. So, as a consequence, we, in that site visit, which Brian and I attended, one of the stipulations for the contractors was that the town would oversee the closing of the road while they were working. So we are going to need to make sure that the old quarry road is drivable for the week that the road will be closed. And it sounds like we do have a date. So I was going to have maybe somebody from the fire department just take a look at that road, and if there was anything that they needed to be assured that the rescue vehicle or the fire trucks could make it up that road. I've driven it a couple times the last few weeks, and with my Subaru it's drivable quite easily actually. But
Yeah.
and then the other part will be to letting people know on the upper part of the Cabot Road. Letting them know when it'll be closed.
Do you have a date for it? Is it set up?
Yeah, they gave us a date. The estimated start date, so this is the estimated start date,
Yeah.
would be October 14th. And the estimated project duration is 1 week.
Yeah.
So at this point, we'll assume that the road will be closed sometime around October 14th,
Yeah.
and that it will be closed for a week.
Yeah, we won't close it till they need it closed.
Till they need it, yeah. And I'll contact them, and we're going to ask, and we've mentioned this at the site visit, that we be given a week's notice of when the road would actually need to be closed, so that we can notify people that live up the road. We'll be putting up detour signs.
Is there any way, I know the last time it happened, there were some slow signs and
Mhm.
they've kind of disappeared into the
Mhm.
undergrowth. So
Mhm.
is there any way those can get kind of
Sure.
opened up a little bit?
Yep.
Down below your driveway so that,
And
There's
above,
above too.
yeah,
And
there's
above.
one above. That would be helpful.
The trees have kind of grown in around
Yeah.
it. Yeah, those can be opened.
probably no way that we could temporarily put a 15-mile-an-hour speed limit through there or something, rather than the normal 35 or whatever.
We could inquire.
I would think for a You think something like that,
I would
maybe?
think we'd be
I mean,
able
it's
to-
actually
Being a
better for the
temporary
cars.
thing, yeah, we should be able to do something
Yeah.
like that.
This 25 going right in
It's
front of
fast.
the door is just,
It's too much, yeah.
it's too much, but 15 is
I think
fine.
15 would be fine.
When I've driven it with the bars that in there, 15 is plenty fast.
15 is fine, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, so if we can do that, I would
Which are allowed
recommend
by
we do that.
Michael to drive
Right.
extensively.
right. And I don't want to
It'll
break
be
my
the-
car.
The ones that break the law anyways, that don't care, so.
Yeah, that would be something you could find some signs for someplace to post just
Boy.
before their driveway, or just, would we have to put it on?
We'd
Then
either
it
have,
helps with me being righteously indignant as they go 9 miles out past that I can say it's 15
Yeah,
as opposed to,
I'm sure you can get some cheap ones made up, even
Right.
like political signs stuck there.
yeah, just, yeah.
yeah,
Or
I can,
the town or something, you know, just to make it look
Right.
semi-official so that, yeah, yeah, if we
I'll
can
have
do
to look
that.
around and
there's already
those
posts in
old
place
signs
with the
and-
25 on it, so you can just go over the top of the
Over the
25.
top of the 25, yeah, if we could drop it,
And then there's the slow one, if it doesn't say slow, if it says 15, it does the same purpose.
yeah,
And it's already standing, it's already there.
it's
so-
already there,
Let
yeah.
me see what's at the garage and from.
You might have something, yeah.
okay.
That would definitely help, I
If
think,
not-
giving them a number rather than just slow, yeah.
You'll get time enough, I can have them made up. Like I said, those little political signs. just-
Yeah, yeah,
15 miles an hour,
okay,
whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Those
that'd
are
be good.
fairly inexpensive.
Yeah, something that'd fit right over the top of the other one, yeah.
Anything else that concerns that you
So
have?
is the hearing just that
The hearing is for a,
notification?
no, the hearing is for a whole nother issue.
Oh, for Coleman's?
Yes, at the top of the Old Quarry Road,
Right.
the spur that he is now claiming is his road and his property. We are going to be scheduling a hearing. We'll probably send the warning out tomorrow. And it's a 30-day notice, so we'll be having a public hearing here. There'll be a site visit and then a public hearing, probably either here or at the library annex, depending. We'll have to figure out how many people we think might be showing up. Trying to settle the dispute over who owns that little piece of road, and then with the ultimate goal of either having the town declare it as part of that town highway, or to come to some agreement with Coleman to allow that to be a town road. And there's, through the hearing, the select board, we'll be hearing testimony from probably Coleman, and then there'll be, the town has to come up with its own reasoning for why that's a town road. And the irony is that sort of the town on one side of the argument, and then the select board makes a decision. So it doesn't seem like,
Yeah.
but that's the way it's been
We've
set
been there
up.
before.
Yeah, it doesn't seem right to me, but Coleman would then have the right to appeal at the Washington County Superior Court if he didn't like the decision. So, the point of the hearing is to try to come to some agreement with Coleman about that last little piece of road that will be written down so that in the future, if there are disagreements, there's something in writing that states what the settlement of that hearing was.
And just in terms of coordinating the time frame with this work, is he going to put boulders up again and that have to come down? And
If
is
he
that
puts
his-
boulders up again, we'll remove them. But, this is it's a 30-day warning, so we're already really close to when
Right.
the work is actually going to start. So,
That's-
and hopefully, if Coleman has an understanding of the town's need for the use of the road and the fact that there's a pending hearing, hopefully he can wait.
Hopefully.
I am going to be talking with Coleman personally about this, and I'm hoping that he will be reasonable. He can be, and has been with other issues, so we'll see.
Okay,
Good luck.
Yeah.
yeah,
And we'll definitely let you guys know when,
Yeah.
when the road will be closed, so you'll be aware of.
it's just, I think it's ironic because it seems like he's shooting himself in the foot because he's the one who wants the road.
Right,
So I don't know. But anyway,
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah, that's a cross purposes for what he needs up on top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he owns all the land out beyond it.
Yeah.
right.
It makes
Oh,
it
and
great
just
access.
to let you know that, and I don't know her last name, but Jezebel, the
Mhm.
woman who he sold land to, she was not really notified of all the kind of hoo-ha that was going on back
Mhm.
and forth about gravel, and it's probably a good idea to keep her in the loop,
Oop, okay. Yeah.
because he was actually going to her for money
Uh-huh.
to pay for,
Had already, actually, she
Yeah.
already
Okay.
paid.
not
Okay.
the,
that's
you know,
interesting.
amount he was asking you guys.
Yeah. Oh, gravel for the class 4 road or?
Right, for just the ditching
work-
and the
the
work
work that
that
he
Chuck
did.
did.
Ah,
Yeah.
No, we were talking to her and she's already paid him for gravel and stuff for that work.
Uh-huh.
ah,
But
Okay.
not what he was asking, not the amount he was
Yeah.
asking.
Yeah,
No, no, it's neither here nor there, the amount, it's.
Yeah,
but she
Yeah.
did, yeah.
Didn't pay some, yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, that's a
Yeah.
good, and I'm sorry, I don't know her last name.
Okay, I'll,
Please look
yeah,
up
figure
her.
that out.
Yeah.
Does she live
Okay.
up there?
She,
Well,
Yeah.
in the summer.
In
because
summer, so
it's
she's-
She's
not
been
a-
there till she can't get through anymore in the snow.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
right,
That
right.
would be just middle of December.
So she
Well,
would
yeah,
definitely
around
want to
here,
know
yeah.
about the
Who's over there,
traffic,
some
Yeah.
there,
because she's
over
got
here.
animals.
She would be one of
Ah.
Yeah.
the landowners that I'll, property owners that I'll contact.
All right, thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks
thank you.
for switching the time.
Yeah.
Sure. So here's the old thing of, I actually have the warning that Paul wrote up. And it should be, so this is for the old quarry road.
I sent you this letter by email today, but I don't know if you,
I have all of that
Need a
information
copy
you,
of it.
you sent me, Diana,
but
I
this
have.
letter from Paul that came
That's,
today.
that's an old, that's a letter that he, yeah, those are older letters.
No, it's September 4th. Just came today.
Yeah, but I have the warning that Paul wrote for this. This
Okay,
is,
well,
I did
just-
too,
just
but yeah,
wondered.
so this is
Yeah.
good,
I
yeah.
did email it to you, just want
So
to make
he is
sure
gonna
you
get
had
that,
it for your
so let me
discussion.
find that. Where the hell?
Those are for Ken.
I know, he's here, I was
Should be
looking
in
for
here.
it.
Oh, he's, okay, give it to him when he comes in.
Yeah, okay, well, here's your card.
So that is in the old quarry road. Here it is. Okay, so Paul has a warning that he's written up for us. It's a copy of the warning. He had it listed as a class 3 road and I changed it to a class 4 road. So what we would need to do tonight, Brian, is to approve having the hearing and warning the hearing. So I'll let you just look at that. And if you have any questions about, the hearing would be technically what's called a quasi judicial hearing, where the select board is kind of the tribunal. We would have a site visit up at the end of the road. Coleman would be given the chance to, state what his understandings are for that end of the road. And, we could, people who are coming to the hearing would be able to see what's there, see the part that he claims is his property. And then we would meet either back here, or if we think we're going to need more space, because it's so tight here, we could try to schedule it at the library, like we've done
Yeah.
previously for other hearings. And then, Coleman would be able to present any kind of evidence that he wants. Town will need to do a little research and provide their own events. And we've been talking a little bit about who we might be able to have come and just
Yeah, we should talk to Gary for sure. Yeah.
get different people to testify. We could request that Paul Gillis be the moderator. That would make things a little easier. I think I have done these enough that I could recuse myself from being on the judicial panel and be the moderator, or even the presenter of evidence.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that maybe we can get other people to be presenters, and but so we'll kind of play that by ear, and
Yeah.
it might be helpful to have Paul there just to kind of crack the whip and keep it somewhat under
Yeah,
control.
keep it legal. Yeah.
So, and it does seem, this is what Paul recommended as a solution, and the goal of the hearing would be to finally have either the town establishing that it's part of that town road, and in perhaps compensating Coleman for creating it. That would be part of the discussion
Yeah.
and part of the decision that the select board would make, but the end result would be to have something in writing that would
Yeah.
hold for time in the
Yeah.
world. What happened 10 years ago is it sort of got almost done, and then there was confusion with this other surveyor, and then it seems like
Just got
nothing
slipped.
just kind of ended there.
Yeah.
So we're kind of back where we were before.
So we want to sign this one here?
That's
Or
the
you-
one.
Either one, yeah.
This is the one that I noticed it said Class 3 Town Highway, so
Okay.
so we'll sign that one. But first, let me make a motion
Okay,
that we approve sending out a notice for a hearing that will be held 30 days from today, so October 9th. And Paul has it at 11 a.m. Does that seem reasonable, or should we try for a different time? What is October 9th? A Wednesday.
you said 10 or 11?
So he has 11
11.
in the warning, but
That's
so,
fine, yeah.
so we could change this if it would, let's see, Wednesday, every other Wednesday, work days for me. I think that's a non-work day. So let's go with October 9th,
Okay, 11 a.m.
11 a.m. So we could write that right in.
This,
Let's
There.
see. Okay. All right. So blue pen. So pursuant to the provisions of 19 VSA Section 708A, the Select Board of the Town of Woodbury on its own motion hereby gives notice in accordance with 19 VSA 709 that the Select Board will meet at the town office in Woodbury, a public place in the town, at 11 a.m. on October 9th, 2019 for a site visit, and then recess to the town office for the purpose of receiving testimony and hearing all persons interested in the matter whether the town of Woodbury shall lay out the spur running over lands of Coleman Parker connecting Old Quarry Road with the Cabot Road as a Class 4 town highway. Dated Woodbury this 9th day of September 2019. Go ahead. Okay, sign it, and then we need our town clerk to also sign it as a witness.
ah,
She's on
Yeah.
the phone right at the moment. When she comes in to do the town
Yep.
clerk, if I don't lose it, which is more than likely. Okay, so, let's deal with the underground storage tank, and then we'll get a road crew work report from you, and then we'll go over the loan arrangement for the truck replacement and for the pieces of equipment, and then briefly discuss, we're already pretty well over. Maybe we'll postpone for our next meeting the Swenson reimbursement distribution.
yeah.
Okay, so the underground storage tank, I have more information relating to that. Just to do a little background, quick background, our underground storage tank failed a cathode ray test, and we needed to notify the state agency that oversees those tanks what the town plan would be, whether to repair or remove the underground storage tank. The select board discussed that subject, and we pretty much were in agreement that we would want to remove the underground storage tank and replace it with an above-ground storage tank. And we've been doing some research on what the costs would be to have an above-ground storage tank, and I have some more information about that. And let's see, I have it all. Here it is here. So there's a couple of different scenarios that we could proceed on. Right at the moment, we get the diesel fuel, off-road diesel fuel for the town equipment from Gillespie's. And if we were to make a 5-year commitment with them, they would basically install an above-ground storage tank for free. It would basically be their tank, and they would install it and maintain it. But we would have to make that at least a minimum of 5 years commitment to them. We could also choose to install the tank ourselves or contract out to have someone help oversee the installation of a tank. The state has a 0-interest loan for the removal of the tank, which could also include the expenses for the above-ground storage tank. And again, it's kind of, if it's 5 years or more of a loan for the total costs, we would need to have it voted on at town meeting to approve that loan. If it's under 5 years, the select board can make that decision. Right now, Steve Gillespie told me that a brand new $1,000 double-walled above-ground storage tank would cost roughly $2,800.
That's a 1,000-gallon?
1,000 gallons, which is what we have now. They have a 2,000-gallon tank used that they would be willing to sell us for $1,000.
Is that going to be or is it a double-walled tank, or is it going to be in a bunker, or?
Well, it seems to me it would be best. We're required to either have kind of a gravel underlay of the tank or a cement pad bunker. For any possible spills, it seems that it would be best to have a cement pad.
Most people use a septic tank.
Yeah.
Like in half.
Oh,
Set it in the
and
half.
put it right inside of it.
Yeah.
So it's protected from being run over and backed into and stuff,
Right.
yeah.
So I
So you do it above ground and,
It's precast, booms.
yeah, set it right in there and drop the tank in.
So I assume beyond the price of the tank that we'd probably also have to buy a pump and, no, we could still use that pump, do you
Yeah,
think?
could be.
Okay. So, we could, I know the fellow that worked on the tank last year, we could get an estimate from him about what, the cost would be to install our own above-ground storage tank. And then we would be free to, continue our yearly bid
out, yeah.
for the fuel and not, kind of locked into Gillespie's for our fuel for the next 5 years. So Gillespie's has provided fuel for the last 2 years. Yeah.
At least two.
And they've been the lowest bid.
And they've been the lowest bid, so,
Anyways, yeah. So they would put in a tank for us if we locked in for 5 years with them,
yep.
at no cost. And what's the cost of a tank?
Cost of just the tank is $2,800.
Yeah, and then putting it in.
Putting it in, getting a pad for it,
So
getting
we're into the $5,000 range,
yeah,
probably.
probably, I don't know, I don't have those figures for what
Yeah.
it would cost to get the pump hooked up and,
But if we went with Gillespie's for 5 years minimum,
yeah.
then they would just
They
set
would,
it
they
for
would
free.
install it and they would maintain it.
Yeah.
And they would fill it up too.
And you said they'd take out the old one?
No, we would still have to contract to take out the old one.
And it's mandatory that it comes out?
Yes, it's mandatory that it comes out. We would be paying approximately $1,100 to have the removal of the tank. I mean, our road crew could remove it, but we would have to have an environmental consultant there watching the process and then doing a site assessment for any type of contamination in the soil.
Is that a flat fee for them?
It's
$1,100?
pretty much a standard fee. This is what the state, Ted Uncles told me. And then it's about another $1,200. You have to hire someone to come in and officially clean the inside of the tank. And then they cut a hole in it, hole it so they can get into it, and then they officially clean it, and then it's basically scrap metal from there. So, and that costs about $1,200. So we're looking at about $2,300, let's say $2,500 to remove the underground storage tank, plus road crew time to
Get
do
it
that.
out.
And we can do that with this zero interest loan. The loan will cover the removal of the tank also.
Yeah.
And so.
Is it pretty good money for scrap metal now? You have a place you can hang on to until it is?
There's a pile there already.
Yeah, we're waiting right now.
Wait for the prices to come up, yeah.
I know we had thought, well, could we sell the tank?
Yeah.
And I didn't ask the Ted Uncles that, but when I asked, because Greg, I thought, well, why can't we use that as an above ground storage tank? And he said, no, can't do that. Apparently there's different supports that an above ground storage tank would have that the underground one wouldn't. I didn't think to ask him, well, could we sell it secondhand? My guess is that the fact that it failed the test, that probably not, and I don't know who would want to buy it unless they wanted to the expense of doing the repair work to it, to use it. But I could ask him that.
Culvert.
Yeah, that's true.
Probably not that long, is it?
Actually, it is.
Is it?
It must be 10 feet long anyway, 12 feet.
Big enough for a class 4 road.
We had it all dug up.
Maybe it could be an ad hoc storage shed or something.
Catch basin.
Yeah. So we don't have to make a decision. Well, we should make a decision on this pretty soon, but I guess the decision is whether or not we want to commit to Gillespie's for 5 years of fuel. The fact that they have supplied us the fuel the last couple of years, and they have been the lowest bidder, that helps a little bit. How about the delivery issues?
They've been fine.
They've been fine. So there was some issues at the beginning, but it does seem like they've.
What size is the tank that they're offering to?
It would be the same as the underground, 1,000 gallons. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I guess if we're happy with Gillespie's, it's a savings to the town to go with them, and just ties us in for 5 years.
Mm-hmm. How do you feel about that, Randy, being the town treasurer?
I'm fine with it,
Mm-hmm.
and it would save us on
It would
going
save
out
us
for
some money
bid, for advertising, for.
Right.
Yeah, there's quite a savings to staying with the same company, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure, hopefully it would be a brand new tank rather than something they dug out of the ground somewhere.
One question I have is, should we check in with our auditors who created that purchasing policy that we would be kind of, I mean, I think we should probably do that.
See, the tank is not gonna be, tank will be free, right? As long as you buy
The
fuel
tank
from
would be free, it would be owned by Gillespie, so they would provide the tank, they wouldn't
Yeah,
charge.
so they're not purchasing it.
The town is
No,
not
we're not
purchasing.
purchasing.
So if we ever stop getting fuel from them, then technically.
Within 5 years,
They would come and take the tank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a loan.
Even after the 5 years, they would come pick it up?
I
They won't
assume
be
so.
hours?
Yeah.
Their
They
tank.
feel that they need at least a minimum of 5 year of a commitment to go through the effort to
Put
install.
it here.
Price?
There's no price, they would do it for free.
No, I mean the price of the fuel.
They aren't going to make a 5-year commitment on the price of the fuel, but for the last 2 years, we have awarded the bid to them, and they have been the lowest bidder. So, I mean, with that little short of a track record,
Yeah. I suppose you could talk to them and ask them, would they be the same prices down the road as it is now if we put a tank? I don't see why it wouldn't be, but.
yeah. Well, I know when we tried to do the 3-year bid last year, it just,
Well, it's gonna be pretty tough for those guys,
And they
because I
can't
know
lock
it's.
in on diesel,
Yeah.
it's just locking in on oil and propane.
Mhm.
And
yeah.
It's pretty volatile for them
Yeah.
even, they can't
Yeah.
even lock in that far out, so I
Yeah.
don't blame them
Yeah.
for that,
Yeah.
but. Well, as long as they've done really well for us so far.
Right. And I think, what we could do is just each year, you know, if they'll give us a price and we can kind of check with some of the other companies, and if it seems to be outrageously high, we can
Say
complain.
something, yeah.
And if it's, you know, really outrageously high, we can
Buy out it.
buy some, and they'll come and take the tank away. You know, if it's really egregious.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. No, it seemed like they've been pretty good so far.
mhm.
No reason to think that they would be otherwise, especially when they get a locked-in term from us for that.
Yeah.
That helps them on their end of it too.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you think that would be the best way to go, Greg?
Yeah,
Okay.
as long as I got fuel, I don't care what you guys do.
As long as they don't run out.
Well, I tell you what, let
The
me,
day I run out, it will be ugly.
let me get the blessing of our auditors,
Mhm.
and, you know, we can just kind of think on this for, till the
Next
next
meeting.
select board meeting. We'll make a formal decision then.
Yeah.
I think we'll be okay in the time frame for getting ready for winter. It would be the end of September by then, but I'll check and, well, yeah, I think I would feel better checking in with the auditors, because we are kind of deviating from the purchasing policy for this.
Yeah.
So I'm sure, I mean, I would assume they would be okay with this, but. Okay, so we'll make a decision on this at our next select board meeting, and we're at this moment kind of leaning towards making a commitment to Gillespie Fuel, and then they would provide and maintain and install the tank.
Did you ask, is that in the sled as well? Is it self-contained?
The above ground storage tank, I would imagine that it probably is on a sled, but I didn't ask that, I don't know that, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Let's see, sled.
Yeah, you would think it'd be in a cement something bunker that would
Yeah.
hold if it was a leak.
I'll ask them how, you know, if they're gonna install it, how they would do that, what the setup would be. Okay? Okay, so, road crew work report? Stuff you want to share with us?
Been up on the Blitz Road. Oh, goodness. Ditching and culverts and all that, we basically finished up today. Oh, this is that access I just looked at. This is where the Skidoo Trail crosses Sand Hill Road.
Oh, okay.
He bought this section here. He's gonna put a house access up there, and this is a garage access.
Mhm, okay. Does it require culverts, do you think, or?
Just this one.
Just that one?
That one's right on top of the hill.
Okay.
I just told him to make sure he ditched it so it comes down
Mhm.
instead of the driveway into the road that we're used to.
Yep.
Oop. This is, you know where Glenn Daly lives?
Yep.
This is the new culvert across the main part of the road, and this is a culvert across his road.
Yeah. That's his mom's over on the other
Right.
side, right?
Yeah.
It's
So
a
we
long-
ditched this all the way up through. This was where we started, on the upper end of that culvert. That's what it looked like before. And this is the lower end of it after. And that's today, with the ditch on both sides all the way up through. And then the access.
Get some nice ditches there.
Yeah.
Get my record running again after this winter.
There'll be a few we'll find it this winter, but that's basically what we've been doing. We've been doing
Yeah.
grading here and there and all that stuff. And
Make them deep.
Two of
That's
them down there.
the requirement of the new municipal road journal
Is it?
permit. Yeah,
The fills
Make
have
'em
been
deep,
going
yeah.
to
make them deep. I know Vail has talked about how, scary they look.
the fill's been going up to the golf course. Guess I got
Yep.
a spot up there. That's what we've been up to mostly. Doing a few oil changes and stuff, getting ready for winter.
Bite your tongue, Greg. It'll be a long fall.
Yep. Hopefully right to January.
With an early spring in February.
Brutal last year, that's for sure.
Yep.
But yeah, we're gonna have to start bringing stuff back home and gearing up, hauling sand.
Yep. So all your road work pretty much done, culverts and
Pretty,
such?
pretty
Yeah.
much.
Pretty much.
I'd still like to get the charter here if the weather holds good. We can.
Yes.
I'd like to do that.
Got 1, 2.
And we've been able to switch. We were going to work on the Valley Lake Road for that Grants and Aid program, and we are able to kind of switch. So Dan Courier from the Regional Planning Commission will come out and look. The bottom 2 segments of Sherrier Hill Road are hydrologically connected, and actually the bottom 2 segments of the
Scribner.
Scribner Road across are also, and the road crew worked on those this summer.
Yeah.
So we
That's all
might be able
done,
to
so-
Scribner side is, yeah.
combine those 4 for the grants and aid. And it'll depend on whether Greg thinks that they can do the work on Sherrier Hill before.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we have until June 1st of next year to do, if we want to do a grants and aid program for fiscal year 20.
Yeah.
So we have until next
Be
summer.
nice to get them done, yeah.
Yep, so we'll see, depends on
Yeah.
time, how the time looks.
Everything gets put off. You never know. I went up to do up there with a loader, ditch it with a loader and stuff. So. It was a 12-inch culvert across the glens,
Yeah.
and it had been hit with a grader, so it was above the ground. If we're gonna change it, we're there. We might as well do it right to the
Do it
top
right.
of the hill.
Anything
That's
else?
about it. I can't think of much else. Getting inspections done on the trucks and, like I said, oil changes. Rainy days we've been hauling sand,
Okay.
and we're up, I don't know, right around 2,000 yards
For the
that
sand.
we've hauled, so
Yep.
we still got 2,000 to get.
Yeah.
Shall we move on to spending money? So, Randy and I met with a woman from the Union Bank to talk over the loan arrangements, both for the truck replacement for the 2013 10-wheeler, and then also a loan arrangement for these 2 pieces of road equipment that will attach onto the bucket loader. One we call a bermer and the other is a mower combination brush cutter. And my kind of overview of that discussion, Brandy I'm sure has more details, but both loan arrangements will basically be a line of credit type of loan. So with the truck, we made a commitment to purchase the truck to Charlevoix for the cab and chassis. At our last select board meeting, they have the notice that they asked for us to sign has been signed and sent to them. That cab and chassis, and the reason we're kind of doing this now, we'll be using the 2013 10-wheeler for plowing this winter. Is it basically to get a replacement for a truck, you pretty much have to order it a year ahead of time. So that's sort of what we're doing. So we'll have a line of credit loan for the truck. We won't really need to use it until it's delivered to Charlevoix, and the expected delivery date is July 1st of next year. And then the expected delivery date is October 1st of next year, which is when the July 1st payment, we would pay Charlevoix from that loan, but we have a deferment from the bank to make that first payment on October 1st. So probably roughly when the truck arrives, we'll pay for it. We'll write another check for the balance of it and begin paying on the loan. So that'll be part of fiscal year 21, 21's budget. So when we're doing up the budget at the end of this year, we'll and I don't know what it would be a 7-year loan. I don't know what the terms are. I haven't seen those yet. How much we would be paying. Do you have that? What's the woman's name again?
Rhonda Bennett.
Rhonda Bennett. Yeah. Someday I'll remember that.
Maybe.
Yeah. Usually it takes twice, sometimes 3 times. This is twice now, so.
So as far as the truck,
Mhm.
I don't have a chart. Oh, here we go. So interest rate would be 3.5
Mhm.
over 7 years. So total amount of interest is going to be $19,455.74.
Mhm.
The principal is the $132,310.
Mhm.
Keep these all in order because she has them all.
I
with
did
the
bring a
board.
calculator if we need to break it down to a yearly amount.
Oh, no, I do. So total payment will be in $21,680.81.
Okay.
So we'll have 7 installments
Mhm.
of that amount.
Yeah.
Just there. So if the board does approve, there's tabs for signatures on this.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay.
During our conversation of her saying that this interest rate would be 3.5, I said, can we currently reduce our interest for a new Freightliner that,
The low pro.
or the low pro?
Mhm.
And she did reduce it to the 3.5 instead of the 4.10.
That's nice.
Mhm. Nice, yeah. Okay.
So
We'll
that
definitely sign
requires
that.
Yep.
board signature.
Okay, would you like us to make a motion to sign this? Just
Yes,
for the
please.
record? Okay, so.
To reducing the,
Yeah, so I would make a motion that we sign the agreement to reduce the interest rate for the 2019 low pro from 4.1% to 3.5% effective September 10th, 2019.
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so, let's see, this is blue pen.
Not often that you get them to reduce the interest rate for you. Yeah.
union has been great.
Mhm, yeah, they really are, have been very good to the town. Okay.
So as far as the toys, the attachment
Yes.
toys,
Yes.
we have a 5-year and we have a 10-year. 5-year option would be a 3-point interest rate.
Mm-hmm.
The 10-year, which would have to have town approval at town meeting,
Yep.
is 4.5.
Okay.
So on the 5-year, we are looking at $11,154.84 annually.
Mhm. Now, is this with the original total price of $71,000?
Nope, this is based on.
Based on spending, so
50.
that's something we should also
Yep.
discuss, yeah.
So that's,
Okay.
this amount, the 51,000, is based on being able to get town approval to use 21,000 or 20,000 out of the HERF fund to go toward
These pieces of
expense.
equipment.
to reduce the total that we'd have to borrow.
Yeah,
10-year, it would drop to $6,461.53.
mhm,
The interest difference for the 5-year, or 10-year, it would be $13,613.44. On the 5-year for the interest, $4,774.17.
mhm.
Then again, so yeah.
So, one of the things that we were trying to do with the purchase of these two pieces of equipment is to stay kind of close to what our yearly, the average yearly rental amount for the mower would be, which is
Yeah.
$4,500. So the 10-year loan gets us close, a couple $1,000s above. So, and I think, making a decision.
Every 2 years it's 9,000.
Yeah, but that's why I mean an average of $4,500 a year.
No, it's 4,500 a year.
Well,
It was
1 year is
30.
3,200.
32,
So the-
and then
then
the
the
second
next-
year is double as the 64.
I thought this year was 4,200.
Nope, it
No,
was
it's
30,
3,200.
32.
Really?
So, what I
For
figured
1
was the $9,000 that we spend every 2 years going on the $3,000 1 year for 1 week and then $6,000 the next year for 2 weeks. That's $9,000. So, the average of that is,
I thought it was 4,500. I thought it went up this year.
it went up $200 this year from 3,000 to 3,200. And whether it would be 6,400 next year or not, I'm not sure, but. But just so for ballpark figures, it's basically $4,500 a year. So there's a couple things that we need to decide is whether we want to use the $20,000 that's in the HERF fund to help bring the payment costs down on this, and then whether we want to do a 5 or a 10-year loan. Obviously, as far as overall expenditure, it's cheaper to go with a 5-year loan. The select board can make that decision. It doesn't have to be a town decision.
Yeah.
But we are going to be adding to the town budget 60, let's see. Yeah, I'm trying to.
Annually?
Actually, I have a calculator, so rather than trying to do it in my head, I'm just trying to think of what above the budget with that $4,500 that we were kind of aiming for. So let's see, 11, let's call it 154 minus 4,500. That's not right. 154 minus. So we're basically spending $6,600 we would be adding to the highway budget in order to go with the 5-year loan. And we would be spending over time about $9,000 less in interest. We don't have to make a decision on this tonight.
Okay.
It might be better to have a full select
yeah.
board here and a couple weeks to think about it. Basically, the goal is to have this equipment by the spring of next year. I talked to both of the suppliers, dealers for the equipment. For the mower brush cutter, from the time we ordered, it would be 2 months before they could ship it. So we're looking at a couple months for that. The Burmer, they have it in stock. They could ship it when we order it. So we have a little bit of time to discuss this a little further, figure it out, and decide what we want to do.
Okay.
Maybe because Paul isn't here, if if we could get copies of this information, just to look at.
Yep.
And, you know, Paul could look at it when he's back. You know, then the three of us can make a decision about using her fund.
Yep.
And which way to go. Obviously, with the 10-year loan, you know, we would have to put it on the agenda for town meeting, which is not a big deal. Okay. Is there anything else at the bank as far as the truck? You know, we could wait on doing that also. We aren't going to need the money until July 1st.
Right, yeah.
Since this is over in a 5, does this also need to go before the town?
You know, I don't know if that's a state statute or a bank requirement. I know it's interesting that it seems to be similar for the above ground, below ground storage tank loan. So I don't know whether that's a state statute or not. She didn't mention that for the 7-year. So
She said anything that's above a 5
above
would
5.
need
Okay. So, and I don't remember if we had to vote on the town trucks at town meeting or not. I don't remember that
I don't think we
happening.
ever did, no.
But I will check with the LCT about that. So,
That was just before me, so I'm not sure.
yeah.
So I don't remember anything being said.
Yeah, I don't believe we ever did it at town meeting.
It could be a new state statute. You know, I don't know about it. The LCT can, 5 versus greater than 5. Okay.
And I'll make a copy of this one too,
Okay.
just this section of payment.
So we'll talk
Each of
about the Swenson reimbursement at the next meeting.
Okay.
The basic thinking is to change the percentages to benefit the HERF fund a little bit more and to basically rob from the paving fund to,
Oh, yeah.
because the other is pretty well set in stone, the amount that we have allotted for the road salt. So we're pretty much done with the town highway report unless there are any other questions or any other comments regarding the roads at all that anybody has?
No.
Nope. Anything else that you'd like to add, Greg?
I think so.
Okay, well,
We're busy
yeah, I know that.
trying to get done so we can start gearing up.
Yeah, I know you guys are starting to think about winter, that's for sure.
Chains came the other day.
Yeah.
Getting them all polished up, ready to go.
Yep.
Yeah. Then sit and wait.
Yeah.
The longer the better, right?
The longer the better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No other
So,
questions or anything?
nope.
I'm outta here
Nope.
then.
Yep. Thanks for coming.
Yep.
Good night, Greg.
Night, Greg.
Night.
So, town treasurer's report.
Balance sheet, financial statement, and due from. So in the last 2 weeks, I have taken in $150,870.46 of revenue. $147,255.42 is on property taxes. We've had copies of vital records, copies, land records recording, a marriage license, town hall rentals, vault fees, vehicle registration, and zoning permits. Delinquencies in the last 2 weeks, I've deposited $3,850.93. Going through the bills, I paid off the line of credit, the $60,000.
Nice.
To keep that interest rate, it was $102 and some change to keep that down.
That's reasonable. That kind of security.
We got in today, Gravels is looking for the second installment for the 14,000. So I'll be cutting that one. We finished paying off Watershed for the school. So that's all
Including
taken
the other 50% of those last two change orders?
Yep.
Great.
So we're all paid off with.
We're all paid off,
Yeah,
the
the school, okay.
school's
Mhm.
done. So, this was Paul's. These are the other funds.
Mhm.
Um,
The reserve funds or just the different funds that we,
The other funds as far as, for the financial statements of any revenue expenses.
okay.
So this is the HERF.
Mhm.
Let me look at Paul's. So you're
That's in
due
the back
to
of
do
this?
from, yeah. So this is just showing any activity. So going back to, let's go to 15, which is our school. And we have 18,884 cents
Yeah,
left.
left over.
Yep.
Don't say that too loud, Kim's on
Very nice.
No. I curled my toes and held on to, I closed out Woodbury school account on Friday,
Yeah.
handing over 126,000 plus some change over to the new district. So I didn't want to let go of that, but I did.
Yeah, just, while we're talking about the school roof repair project, the original bid was $51,000 plus, and then the change orders
Yeah.
were about $19,000 plus some. And some of it was not, it was, Larry, they were running into a lot of rotted siding, when they were working on the roof, and then Larry started looking closer, and the foreman was, was noticing other siding, and was just figuring, well, while they're there, they're doing the work, they have the lift.
Yeah.
But
It'd
then
be cheaper now than have somebody come back later, yeah.
So we did expend some extra money. It wasn't necessarily just the roof,
Yeah.
but
They do a good job over there, Kim? They do a good job on the roof? Looks nice from.
yeah, Larry's was very
Pretty
pleased
happy
with
with
the
it?
work. Yeah. Not so pleased with the management a little bit with some of the bumps and along the way, but he was very pleased with the work.
Yeah.
Quality of the work. Yeah.
So the grand total expense was $71,326.
That leaves you how much in that?
The
Is the
18,000.
$18,884. Yep.
So
What is that money for?
That's roughly the third year in the lease agreement that we made. The money that we had reserved for the roof, the $90,000, was part of a rental agreement for fiscal year 19, which was last year, and for
And then
fiscal
20
year
this year.
20 this
So
year.
they did 2 installments
Yeah.
to give us our
To
money
get that
back.
amount.
So fiscal year 21, that's the amount of money that will cover, that the town has to deal with whatever happens during fiscal year 21.
Yep.
And then moving forward, if we still have a school, starting soon, and I will be kind of talking to Kim about how to start negotiating with the school board, the union school board, about some type of lease agreement going into the future, if there is a future.
Yeah.
But for the third year, that's basically what the town has to cover any of its responsibilities, financial responsibilities.
Be like heat, lights.
Well, that's something that we need to work out with the new union board. So that'll be the first piece of work, is what will the town be responsible for? What will the union school board be responsible for? And do we want to keep it the way it was before, when we had a Woodbury school board? Just kind of go with that, or that's to be discussed and decided.
Yeah.
So that work should start pretty soon.
Soon, yeah.
So that probably will become a topic of discussion at our select board meetings, and maybe we could invite Kim or
Catherine?
to come and join us. Yeah. with those discussions, what their thoughts are.
Yeah.
And then we'll, somebody from the town.
This is
We'll start.
uncharted waters for us.
It is, yeah. So,
I know for the next 3 months, they're gonna be busy trying to hammer out
21 budget.
2021's budget.
Yeah.
So
maybe after that.
after
Yeah. Okay.
January, we can
Yeah.
start looking at 2022.
Okay. So that'll give us some time to figure out what
Yeah.
what we might be agreeable to, or what our terms would be, or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. What it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's just an aside.
So the money in checking is 90,000, so I'm gonna be doing a transfer and kicking majority, all but leaving
Mhm.
maybe 2,000
Mhm.
in there. I took in a good hunk of deposits today that I have not finished,
Mhm.
so I'll probably end up transferring roughly 130,000 over into the money market
Mhm.
Yeah.
by tomorrow afternoon.
It has 2.25 in it right now. Is that right?
What's that?
Has 2.25 in it right now?
Those two
Or 2.15?
combined.
Okay.
The 215 and the 101.
All right.
Yep.
Mhm. So,
Any more on the reimbursement for receivables for that, the grant?
the grants and aid for last fiscal year, nothing more. I can inquire again. They have everything that they need.
Right.
So I'll make an inquiry. In fact, the fellow that's coming from the Regional Planning Commission for the site visit this Friday is the same person that oversees that. So, but I'll send him an email tomorrow and ask.
Site visit at the former store?
No, for at the bottom of Chartier Hill Road.
Oh,
for
okay,
the
yeah.
grants and aid. Now, Brandy's talking about the fiscal year 19, the grants and aid work that we did on Foster Hill Road.
Okay.
We submitted the report early this summer, and then there was pieces of information that were missing, which we provided them, and now they have everything they need. So they have to submit it to A&R, and then get the money from them before they can pay us. So it's in the bureaucratic shuffle mode. In fact, it's been in the bureaucratic shuffle mode for
How much is
a few
that
months.
roughly?
A little over 11,000.
Yeah, $11,000. But I will. I'll make an inquiry and we'll see what kind of. I'll CC you on it also. So.
Perfect. So I'll make copies for each of you to go home with.
Okay. Great.
And leave Paul's just in your
Mm-hmm.
folder.
Yeah, I'll let him know it's there. So that'll be on our agenda for next.
All
We'll
right.
make a decision next meeting.
Sounds good.
Mhm.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, Diana, do you mind waiting a little bit? We'll make sure that you get in here before 8 o'clock. So, why don't we move on to the unlicensed dog warrants with Kim, and then to the town hall roof repair, which I assume is why you're here. Yeah. So, Kim, let's try to do this in about
Yes, because
7 minutes.
I gotta go to work.
Okay, well, that'll help.
So these are dog warrants, okay?
Yeah.
No, well, those are
These are the
just
warrants. These
the
are the notices.
notices.
Okay.
Okay, now,
I like that the third one is in red.
In red, yeah.
yeah, well, that's kind of the way we did it.
And it's orange, kind of.
I'm looking, per our last conversation, there was 5 people
Yeah.
that we need to issue a warrant for their dogs. I'm looking at Thomas Phillips, 51 Buck Lake Road. He has a pug. My understanding is there is a renter at 121 Buck Lake Road that has a dog. I've left 2 notices with them. I've been to 51 Buck Lake 3 times already, and I plan to make a 4th visit.
Leading that, okay.
That
Thank you for doing that. Yeah.
And then I also have, on Dog Pond Road and Heather's old property, a Massey Josie and a Hillary Pink. You know, one is buying the property, the other one owns it or has a trailer on that property. Both of them have a minimum of 2 dogs that are not registered. I've already been to Hillary house once. But I'm looking to get a warrant for 51 Buck Lake, 121 Buck Lake, and if Heather Holmes does not register her dogs in the next 2 weeks.
A warrant for her also?
Yes. She said she was going to get her dogs vaccinated by the 30th of last month. She has not gotten back in contact with us. So I'd like to proceed with her and
with a warrant or with this final notice?
Well, I'm going to give her a final
notice,
but
okay.
I want to stop processing the warrant because of the time lag that it's going to take, because we got to have Laura write them up. I got to have
somebody sign
them, and then I got to coordinate with the state police to actually do it. So we're talking close to 2 weeks anyways before we actually serve the warrant.
Okay.
And going forward, I would like to, once I have gotten to the 3rd notice, which has a to-do date by, that I contact Laura to have a warrant for that dog issued after that date.
Okay. So the process would be, if people don't respond, the 3 notices, if they don't respond with the 3rd notice, warning them of possible consequences, that Laura, you would contact Laura and she would print out a warrant that, we had agreed that Brian would sign them.
Yeah, if you look at this one, the red one, if you do not comply within 2 weeks of the date of this notice, then you could be subject to fines and the animal could be seized. And of course, the date will be on it. There's my phone number, the town's phone number, the town's email address, and there's also information about how much, the registration of the dog is.
Okay. Now, do you usually put one of these in a door casing or something each time you go up if they're not there?
Yes. I usually put it on the most noticeable door and I tape it. I like the colors because I can see from a distance when I'm coming up there whether or not the notice is still there or whether or not it's been taken down.
Yeah.
So I'd like to move forward on those 3 that are mentioned, and then go forth as we reach the 3rd notice.
Right. And I assume that we've already, with the last meeting, you pretty much are, it's kind of your call. And do you need select board approval for every warrant? Brian would basically be designating that with his signature. That's true? Or do you need each of these warrants to be formally?
Well, the town has chosen in the past to do individual. The state law only mandates that a warrant for all unregistered dogs within the town. But the town has wanted to be more specific as to the exact location, i.e. the case of the county road dog, they were.
This is the general one that they approved at their last meeting.
Yeah.
I wrote it up according to the state standards, and 2 of them have signed it.
Off, yeah.
Paul hasn't been in to sign it, but
So technically, it's.
I can
there's
give you a copy of that, it's fine.
Yeah, there's a quorum that signed it, so it's valid.
And that's a general one, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
Which
give you
is
that
what
one
the
too.
state says, And that gives me authorization to pick up any and every dog that is
Okay.
not registered within the town.
Mhm.
But like I said, in the past, you guys have wanted to be very specific, which is why I mentioned those three.
Right, okay, yeah.
So do you want to issue specific ones, or do you want to go with just a general one?
Well, if we do it specifically, then when you arrive, you have a piece of
Paper,
to
and,
give
well,
them.
I could
Or you could just make copies of that.
copies of that one. The last chair was more inclined to go towards very specific, that way there was no wiggle room.
Uh-huh.
But, I just need to know from you guys which way to go.
Yeah, the specific one makes it, we've got to have a meeting first. The general one, we could just sign off on and he could
Right.
use his own
Which we've already
discretion.
done.
Which we've already done, yeah.
Yeah.
So it would be probably easier for Kim not to have to chase us down all the time, but
The only
whatever.
thing that I have to add to that is that sometimes people come in, in the last week, we've had 10 more people come register dogs. And making sure you have the most up-to-date information, like the Ashlines, they've got an appointment for a rabies shot and they're coming in following that, so they've been in contact. So the people that are actively trying to register their dogs and to come into compliance, I think we should give them a little more time if they're actually doing it. And so, like, they've contacted me, Heather Holmes contacted me, but didn't follow through with it, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So as long as you have up-to-date information.
when I'm getting the state police involved, I'm gonna make sure that I have the latest information, because more than likely, it's gonna be either a Tuesday, Wednesday, or a Thursday operation, which the town clerk is open, so I would check that morning to make sure that nothing has changed.
Yeah, I think if people are making an effort, then giving them the benefit of the doubt for a reasonable amount of time.
I'm not necessarily inclined unless just saying does not qualify. If they actually have a physical appointment, then that's
Right.
fine. I can't tell you how many times a
People kind of
person
blow you off with
has
that.
said
Right.
something and it's not
I
true.
understand.
So from my perspective, yeah, okay, I hear you. Just like Helen Holmes, was it? She said, but she also said that it was going to be the 30th of last month.
And she hasn't done
We're
anything yet.
now 9 days, 10 days into the next month, and
Yeah.
she still hasn't done it. So,
Yeah.
I hear you. However, you
Okay.
still have not complied.
Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah. You're the one dealing with it.
So,
But
So-
yeah, as long as you check in with Laura on the days so that because you're up to date every day.
Right.
So if it's that day and nobody's been in yet, then absolutely.
So you're the dog dispatcher.
Dog dispatch, yeah. To get you guys radios. Yeah.
okay.
I don't know about that.
So I'm going to stop at 51 and 121 Buck Lake tomorrow morning on my way back through
Okay.
and give them their final notice.
Mhm.
Have you actually talked to them or just have
I-
big notices in the doors? Or?
The 51,
Yeah.
I have physically talked to the guy,
Okay.
Okay.
3 times, and he's had me running around chasing my tail. First he said the dogs were registered in Hardwick. Well, I checked and verified that they weren't. So,
Okay, yeah.
you know,
To run around.
Okay.
Yeah.
the one at 121, all I've been able to do is leave notices. Nobody's answering the door there, and nobody's returning
Which
my
road
calls.
are they the first left as you go up Buck Lake Road?
Third
Third.
one. You've got that one that has the 2 houses, that's the first one.
Yeah,
And then you got 51, which is the second.
that's the guy right on the road with the
Yeah.
house there, yeah.
And then the third one on the left, you go up the driveway and to the back, it's kind of sets
Is that
on the
Bruce Potvain's old place, log cabin?
Yeah, I believe that's.
Yeah.
I believe there's a renter there. Either way, I know for a fact that there's a dog there because I've been there
Yeah.
Okay.
and I've heard the dog bark. So.
Yeah.
All right, good, thank you.
Thanks, Kim.
Yep.
Have a good night.
Yep.
Talk to you soon.
You take it.
So town hall roof repair.
When are you gonna do it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the section that's over the kitchen area,
Has anybody had a chance to look at it yet?
as in like a contractor?
Yeah.
No, not yet.
Okay, okay.
No,
So,
so-
yeah, I mean, definitely if it's leaking, we need to repair it.
It's
So
leaking.
that's definitely not a problem. I think what we should do is, and Brian and I talked about it a little bit, but I was thinking, well, maybe we should repair the whole roof, or we should, and I looked at the roof and it's a little rusty on the north side, but the south side looks fine.
So the main.
No, I-
The main roof, yeah.
Yeah, I think the main roof is fine,
Fine,
it's
yeah.
where they put that addition on,
Right.
and however the addition roof comes to the
Yeah.
original, I think that's where our problem
Okay.
is.
So we should.
Do you want to put an ad in the paper, or do you want to call a few people that we know? Do you have any preference of anything? No?
I would think, if the people if we know a couple of people that could give us a knowledgeable estimate, so we would know whether or not, have a ballpark figure of what it's gonna cost to repair it properly.
Yeah.
And then,
Because if it comes over a certain dollar
Right,
figure, we
if
gotta
it-
put
if
it out
it's-
to bid.
if it's between $1,000 and $8,000, we need to do due diligence in getting estimates from at least 3 different contractors.
Yeah, and then we can just pick them.
If it's over $8,000, we have to put it out to bid.
Yeah.
So if we could get, a couple of folks who were willing to come and look at it and give us an estimate of what they think it would cost to repair it, then we would know how we need to proceed from the purchasing policy.
Okay,
Yeah. So it could be, just local folks who would have a sense of it, or,
Peter has a good understanding of roofs.
okay,
He's
well,
already on the town payroll. so
all right.
He can look at it and tell you what it needs anyway.
so just for an estimate, I don't have to make sure they have insurance?
For an
That's-
estimate, we're just looking at a ballpark figure to know how we need to proceed as far as, finding a contractor to fix it.
Okay,
Under a certain dollar amount, we can
Yeah,
make the decision.
I assume it's gonna be more than $1,000. So
Yeah.
let's say if it's less than $8,000, then what we need to do is just have, call different contractors, have them come and give us an estimate of what they would charge the town to
Okay.
repair it. And then proof of insurance would be great. If it's over $8,000, then we have to formally put it out, put together an RFP, a request for proposal,
okay,
advertise it, and have contractors bid on it, then open up the bids and award the contract. And with, if it's a local contractor and if they don't have workman's comp or certificate of insurance, there is a waiver process that they would have to go through with, and Brandy is familiar with that
okay.
procedure.
Yeah, we've got a lot of carpenters in town, maybe just a few phone calls and have
That's true, maybe,
Sam, Mark, and I know
have-
Red Cannon still,
I don't know what, I know,
Mark, Rick, yeah, you must know enough carpenters around here to
Yeah,
yeah,
call a
so,
few of them and get an
Yeah.
estimate.
because Ronnie Langevin, he still does,
Langevin
yeah,
still
so,
does it.
right?
yeah, I would prefer to give the work to somebody locally, but, we would probably, if they could just give us, like say if Ron or Rick Cannon could just come and look at it and say, I think that would probably cost about $3,000 to repair. Then we would know how we need to proceed and,
Okay.
and once
Yeah.
we know that, then we can ask whoever we want to ask to look at it and give us what they would charge us to repair it.
okay.
And then we can pick from that.
Because the other day I was in there cleaning up before baby shower went in, and some of the sheetrock is actually starting to fall now.
Well, it's getting wet.
From the ceiling in the main part
No,
of it?
from the kitchen.
From the kitchen, okay.
Yeah.
Yep, the
Yeah,
back
it's
wall
all
in the
back wall
kitchen.
stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have a little interior work to do too, so.
Yeah, so that would be whatever it takes to repair both the roof and any of the damage from the water. That would be part of what
Okay,
we were looking to do. Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay.
I'll start calling some people.
Okay, yeah, and we could, I'll have it on the agenda for the next select board meeting, and
Okay.
Or, you know, really, if you get an estimate and we know how, you know, we'll know just from the purchasing policy how to proceed. There's no reason that you couldn't call if you have an idea of how much it's going to cost, and we could just start contacting people to get a more formal
Okay.
estimate bid, you know, for the work. So maybe at the next select board meeting, we could actually choose
Okay.
A
when we want to
bidder,
do it. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So if we just have some different amounts from people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
get 3 or 4 people to
Yeah.
check it out.
Mhm. Yeah. So, you know, to proceed, just get somebody, maybe a couple people to look at it, give you a rough idea of what it might cost. Let me know, and if it's below $8,000, I would ask you to just contact other, you know, local contractors who you would trust to do the work and have them come and look at it. And maybe by the next select board meeting, which is the 23rd of September, if they had estimates by then, or, you know, actually submitting the amount that they would charge the town to make all of the repairs,
Okay.
we could choose from then, and then the work could get started
Okay.
after that.
I don't think I've been in there since they redid the floors.
Oh,
Maybe
really?
we did. Yeah, maybe I voted over there, but I guess I didn't really pay much attention to them.
Floor looks sharp.
Yeah, that's nice, yeah.
Yep.
We've had a few things happen there.
Yeah, we have been over a
Yeah.
couple times,
I
yeah.
don't remember.
Good. Good
Voting,
stuff.
voting and stuff. I know you were
Voting,
there
yeah.
for some of the voting for counting and all. Yeah,
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
good.
Okay.
So, yeah. And if, you know, if it's too tight of a crunch to have things ready by the next select board meeting, that's not a big deal.
Okay.
But, I mean, that could happen if you wanted to.
Okay.
But it's not a big deal if it doesn't. We'll just do it the next select board.
I'll get working on it.
Yeah. Sounds like getting it done before winter would be good.
Yes.
Thanks, Robin.
Have a great night.
Okay, Diana.
Any questions, ma'am?
Okay, so while Diana is busy, we pretty much covered the update for the school roof. It's all paid for, all done. The entryway is also finished.
Oh, is it? Nice.
Yeah, so,
So we've got ourselves a secured building then, right? Without the entryway
yes,
stuff
and
is-
I did check with Larry and Don about the pickleball people and
Yeah.
other. Larry said that there are cards that the teachers have to use, but all of the old keys still work too.
Oh,
So
so
there-
anybody has a key can
Can
still.
still get in there. Yeah.
Now they must have to sign in with somebody for the use of the gym
Yeah,
up there.
whatever the protocol was before, although there might be, no, it's still our building, so I should probably check in with Don about that.
Yeah, find out who
But
the
I think-
contact person is to use the gymnasium would be, because
Yeah,
people.
in case
who
somebody
ask me-
contact us, yeah. I would imagine that at this point,
Because somebody needs to have something that says, well, Wednesday nights it's pickleball and whatever.
yeah, I would imagine that Don is now the contact person. He's the building and grounds
Good, yeah.
person.
Yeah, that'd make it handier if we knew that, then we could have him, get his number, we could have him call him for when it's available.
Yeah. So, let's see, Diana's still busy. So, the town, the planning commission, we met in a special meeting last week, and also approved the applying for this town plan development grant.
Yep.
That was signed by the planning commission and it has been submitted, and Skip Lindsay is now beginning work on the actual application.
Oh, nice.
And also at that planning commission meeting, we voted in, Skip Lindsay is now the planning commission chair,
Okay.
and I'm now just a kind of a member of the planning commission. And there was also Susan Martin attended that meeting, and was very interested in becoming a member of the planning commission. So the planning commission took a vote on requesting that the select board appoint her as a planning commission member.
Okay.
So, as a member of the select board, I would make a motion based on the planning commission's approval that we appoint Susan Martin as a planning commission member.
Member. I'll second that
Okay.
motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Well, I saw it on Facebook.
So we now have a full 5
Oh,
members.
that's good, yeah.
Which takes Saturday.
And so, just to quickly, I think I went over the timeline on this on our select board meeting last time, but the application, we need to have that finished by October 1st. And then the decision will be made on whether the grant would be awarded to the Central Vermont Regional Planning Commission and the Town Planning Commission sometime in December.
Yeah.
It's very competitive, so we may not
Get
get it. But if we do, then the Central Vermont Regional Planning Commission will basically, under the Planning Commission and town guidance, form a town plan for us. It'll take about 1.5 years from the beginning.
It's gotten to that point now where, we aren't qualified to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
We just don't have the, that's why I think it's been stalled. It's a very daunting task.
Yep.
It has to be done correctly.
Yeah. The last one I looked at, I think, was maybe Cabot's. They had done
Yeah.
one, and it's like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I looked at what
It's
we had in
elaborate.
the past, this was done by
People who know what they're
suits.
doing. Yeah, so, it does seem the best route to go, and it's, it'll basically, with this, if we are awarded the grant, it's gonna cost the town $800 to have this done.
Yeah.
And there will be, there are responsibilities that the planning commission has, but it's more the public input part as opposed to.
They can do that online, ask questionnaires and stuff
Right,
like
yeah,
that.
and
So
there are
it's a little
different.
easier
Yeah.
on that aspect.
Yeah,
of it.
there are different public meetings that are required, and that would be our responsibility. But at the end, we would have a town plan that is approvable.
Yeah,
So,
that'd be nice for, what, 2 years?
no, actually, it's 8 years now.
It's an 8-year one.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
no
that's
longer,
nice.
it's no longer 5 years. It's 8 years once it
that's
is
good.
approved. So you have 7 years to procrastinate, and then
7 years to procrastinate and then hire somebody to do
and then you
it.
gotta get it. Okay, going on that. Is there anything you'd like to share on the fire truck meeting that you attended last week?
Yeah, I met with Paul and Roy and Chance,
Mm-hmm.
and it was on the new fire truck purchase. It was voted to go ahead.
Go ahead with it?
Yep.
Okay, all right. Okay. So,
Not a heavily attended meeting.
doesn't surprise
Like most
me.
of them.
Yeah. So Diana, if you're ready, we are ready.
Okay, I'm on overtime now.
All right, well, we were ready for you earlier, but you were busy talking to someone, so,
You were ready, but you were busy. Let me turn this down quick.
okay, great.
Thank you.
This is something that I had in the, for you. That's just a little history of all the tax rates over the years.
Oh,
If you hadn't seen that.
You gave Diana the signed copy of the.
I think so.
In the minutes?
That's right here.
I have something right here that appears to be that.
Right here is the one. with-
Okay, so you have a copy. Wait, that's the one we signed, I think.
Yep.
Okay,
Is that the right,
it's a copy.
it must be, so yeah, it's not that, because I corrected the name of Larry Elder, but that's okay.
Okay.
So, self-certification for Vermont underground storage tank, I guess you don't need that anymore.
I don't, I have copies of it too.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, oh, for that, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
need
not
it
gonna be
anymore.
underground anymore.
Mm-hmm. So, other than that, we got our FEMA award letter, and I
Okay.
think I emailed all this to you, but if you wanna have a copy.
Yeah, I didn't see it, so yeah, I'll take a copy. So does that mean this fall?
Yeah,
You should, yep.
yeah, we need, there's some more things to go through before we have a closing. But the guys are ready to go and, you know, I told them first part of
The property
October,
owners are
probably.
ready to go on the lawyers?
No, the attorney, no, the contractors.
The contractors, okay.
Yeah, the attorneys are pretty much ready, except that she has, well, Lauren has to do another purchase and sale agreement, even though we already did a purchase and sale agreement 2 years ago.
Right,
She has to do another one according to FEMA's requirements, and
so
hopefully
it's more
that,
current?
well, I don't know what, it's gonna have different stuff in it. I hope
Okay,
it
okay.
won't be a problem, but
Right.
you never know.
So that can start going forward right now, right? That's-
Well, it
we
is
haven't got
going
It is going forward right
Yeah,
now,
we
okay.
are, you know,
They're
we're-
working on that, okay.
Moving along, Kirk and Kim's attorney, Richard LaCours, is closing his practice because he's very sick.
I heard that.
But I understand that he's already spoken with our attorney and transferred the deposit money to her account. Come to find out that, I mean, usually the buyer has an attorney and the seller has an attorney, but FEMA tells me now that we're supposed to pay for all the legal costs, so it's not even in our budget, but somehow we'll manage, so having our attorney do the work is not a
problem.
problem, I
Sounds
guess.
like that's what's expected, actually.
Yeah, and if the sellers wanna have another attorney to look at stuff, they can. I mean, Kim's not interested in that, but you never know. So, our our $44,000 that we have set aside should easily cover our 25% with a couple thousand to spare that we'll probably need for other things that were costs that we incurred that were not pre-approved, like the engineering costs and some of the earlier legal fees and things. But, you know, I don't know how they thought we were gonna wait until the last minute to do anything. We wouldn't have even had our RFP and
Right.
Yeah.
all that stuff, but we do have that, so. So when we get a little closer to having a closing date, I'll set up another pre-construction meeting for people that might be involved, like the contractors and the V-Trans, and maybe Jaren Board from the state.
So you don't have anybody locked in yet to tear the building down?
Oh, yeah.
We
Oh, you
do,
do?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Blue Mountain Trucking and Excavating is
Okay.
Yeah, if they're from Thompson or Corinth or
Yeah,
something
okay,
like that.
somewhere,
Yeah,
that sounds
we
familiar
went
now,
through all
yeah.
that a couple of years ago.
So that's
a
done,
while ago.
set.
Yeah, and they're,
Yeah, they've been waiting patiently.
they've
Ready?
been very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they haven't like asked for more money yet or anything.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
that'll happen soon.
Okay.
I'm trying to purge the checklist, which I'm supposed to do by September 15th. And
Right.
Brian was very helpful and went through the checklist. None of the other
I
BCA
haven't had a
members have.
chance to look at it, but
said
I don't really know. I don't know.
Smack, smack.
I don't know a lot of people in town.
Had my secretary go through it
Okay,
first.
there you go. I need a secretary.
You guys
there.
should know a lot of it, yeah.
Yeah,
A lot of
I went
people.
through it, I found a few that Judy hadn't tagged in there, so.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to call and ask her about a few that, like, I didn't know they were gone, so I'm just trying to
Yeah.
check with.
Check to make
things,
sure,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but anyways, I've got probably 30 or so that I've highlighted on my list that I'm pretty sure are
I
gone.
think there was 2 on the list that I'm renting to over at my camp, and my camp's in Callis.
Really?
Yeah, so I
Who
knew,
are they?
I knew those 2 girls.
Okay, alright.
Megan and her sister Guile.
Okay.
Megan and,
That's one of the ones I,
Megan's sister? Jordan, yeah, Megan and Jordan, all right.
do they
I
still
can't
have
right now.
parents who live here?
Her mom is still over there on the hill, her dad's gone.
Okay, what's the mom's name? Well, I'm sure I have it on the list.
Yeah, yeah, her mom's still living in the house, the dad's elsewhere.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Yeah, Megan and Jordan, so yeah, they're on my list there, so.
Mm.
And then Judy went through it, then I went back through it, checked
thank
off
you.
some more, so
Mm-hmm.
it's the ones that we know of anyways.
So I have a town clerk thing that needs to be done. We are going to be having a hearing for the top of the Old Quarry Road. So Paul Gillis has put together a notice for that hearing. It needs to be witnessed by the town clerk. And then there's a part that also for you to review and sign. And then if you would do the usual steps for warning the site visit and hearing for us, that'd be great.
Warning. Huh. So we put it in the paper?
Yeah, whatever. This is a
Notice the adjoiners? Because I don't know what the.
Yeah, I would say notices the
Yeah.
adjoining property ownership.
There's probably going to be a lot of them. I don't even know where exactly this property is, but
Top
I mean, I
of
know
Cabot
generally
Road, yeah.
where it is,
yeah,
but.
it's the very top of the Cabot Road.
Yeah, okay. And the hearing is
Dennis Ainsworth is on one.
Yeah,
end.
yeah.
October 9th.
October 9th. Yeah.
Oh, October 9th.
Assuming
That's
that, it's a 30-day warning time frame by state statute, so it's September 9th. Probably.
So we'll get in the paper till the 18th though, because now it's, well,
I think
maybe I could
might
get
be
it
able
in
to
tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I think you might be able to get in tomorrow morning.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Okay, so but this is, I would have to retype this whole thing
Okay,
unless you have it electronically.
I have it electronically.
Okay, so
Yes,
if I
and I
did
will.
that, then I could just send it
Yeah.
quickly to the newspaper like
Okay,
that.
it'll be on
Okay.
your computer when you get here tomorrow
Oh
morning.
boy, okay.
Or I could send
Alright.
it to your home, and you would have it even earlier.
Oh, that's all right.
Okay.
I hereby certify that on cause the following notice of hearing to be posted at the town of Woodbury Clerk and cause copies are to be mailed by certified mail. Oh man. List of all owners of lands affected, mortgagees and owners of rights of way with full addresses plus the telephone and electric companies serving the area. For God's sake, I further certify that I caused the
State statute.
within the foregoing notice to be published in the some issue. Now I don't want to do the Times Argus.
Okay. Is he
Do
at
the
the
Harbor
Times Argus?
Gazette, right?
Yeah.
He wrote Times Argus. but
Okay, well, I can
send me
eliminate that
too.
before I send it
Okay.
down.
Yeah.
I did make some changes
Oh, okay,
myself.
okay.
So leave me with your edited copy and I will make those changes before I send it to you.
Okay, published in the, hopefully in the 11th, August, September 11th issue of the Harbor Gazette. Okay. So I can't, yeah, we don't have to do anything with this. I mean, this doesn't have to go anywhere.
No.
So if you want to, I don't know whether I should list all the owners and then sign the certification, or?
No,
Let's
we didn't do that last
concentrate on
time.
this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
let's just
do the
do this
legwork
part.
for the owners and.
No, I mean, I'm just wondering whether, I'll find out who the owners are, but do I have to list them on this certification before I sign it? Does it matter? Is this certification going anywhere? I
No,
don't
it's
think
not,
it is.
that's just for town
So,
records.
Okay, all right,
Just for
so
town
I'll
records.
do that. So there's no rush on that, okay. So, there would really, except for adding the dates, there's really no need for you to take this if you.
Okay.
Okay. Alrighty then,
Okay. Thank you.
you're welcome.
So, let's see, I think we've made it through everything on the
Hit
list.
about every nail that was down there, I
Yeah.
think.
So the only thing that is still on the list is executive session, to just briefly talk about the situation with the Old Quarry Road. I guess formally, I was gonna say we could talk about it off camera after the meeting is adjourned, but I guess properly we should probably just go into executive session. So I would make a motion that the select board go into executive session citing 1 VSA section 313A1 to discuss possible litigation for the town.
Okay, second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, so we'll go into executive session at 8:15.